Welcome back for another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be addressing the compost bin that you can see here behind me. It is a 3-bin compost bin system. This is the new one that I just built. I had an old one over here, or over in the same spot, that was decomposing, and now this is the new one, built the same way pretty much. So basically going through the process of how I built it, which is fairly simple. I didn't really spend anything to build this one on besides nails and then some T-posts or garden stakes that I'll show you. Otherwise, the wood and everything was pretty much free besides gas and time to pick up the wooden pallets. Otherwise, that's all I'll be showing you is how to build this 3-bin compost system. So right now, preparing the area for the compost bin. I do have to redo this fence right here before I get to work on the compost bin. So basically, I'll be taking out the fence itself and then putting like cinder blocks at the bottom and raising it up just because the dirt's pushing against it and kind of rotting in there. So I was thinking to build a compost bin out of galvanized panels and galvanized posts, but instead I decided just to go with the wood compost bin again. It's not going to last as long, but right now it's going to be cheaper, and that's a better option. So I collected all these off of Craigslist, got them for free. More than I need, but basically I got extra so I can use the slats if I need. Since there's gaps in here that are too big, so I'm going to take them off and make smaller gaps and whatnot so I have extra so I can fill it up. Otherwise, I'm going to be building a 3-bin compost system again, same as the one you saw at the beginning of the video that I took apart, just out of these wooden pallets. And it performed well last time, so this should do the same thing. This is the general layout of the compost bin. So now I'm not sure if I have enough pallets because I'm going to have to put slats all across here. I got these longer ones just because I got the longer beams and I can just have it going across, but I might have been better getting some more shorter ones, which actually had more slats on it. So we'll see if I have enough to do it. I do have some parts from the last one that are still good that I can use. Otherwise, basically what I got to do now is take apart the ones that I am not going to use in terms of the layout of the compost bin, and then start putting them on here and then getting that done. I think it's going to be, each section is going to be like maybe 3 feet, maybe 4 feet. And then I'm going to have one that's going to be smaller, which is just for the browns, which doesn't need to be big because it doesn't need it to be composted. It's just for storing the browns when we stick it on the other bins. So you just saw the process of taking apart the other compost bin and then some of the parts of putting this one together, basically taking apart the wooden pallets and then cutting some of the wood. Otherwise, right here you can see the completed compost bin. Well, technically not completely finished. There's only one thing that is not done that I'll show you in a minute, but otherwise everything is pretty much set. As you saw in the video, it's made out of wooden pallets. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a big one on the back that I extended a little with some wood on that side. On the pallets, all I had to do is just put more slats in them, which I used extra pallets for. There you can see the general layout. It comes with, or basically there's 3 bins on it that I made, similar to the same design as last time. Well, exactly the same design as last time, just a center bin is smaller, which I'll explain why in a minute. Otherwise, you can see it's made out of the pallets and then one long pallet on the back. Here's all that. You can see the fence that I had to redo over here. I have it up on some concrete blocks like so, just reinforced and raised it up because of the dirt. I'll show you from the other side as well. So a few things I had to do before I actually even put this compost bin in here. It's basically reinforcing all these posts and everything, just because of the factor that was kind of tipping over. So you got that going along there. And then over here, otherwise on the compost bin, as I mentioned, there's 3 different spots on the compost bin for compost. You got this one over here and that one over there. Those ones are for the actual compost, where we can put the greens, the browns, and everything in to be composted. The center one, which is a little smaller, is just for the browns, which you can see we filled up pretty recently. And then this one we're starting in the compost bin, so we'll rotate. We'll fill this one up. When it's ready, we'll take it out, and then we'll start on this one basically. The reason I made the center one smaller is because I wanted more space on these sides. These 2 are a little bigger than last time, and then the center one is just smaller, so it does take up the same space from there to there. And then I didn't go all the way to the end over here, which I could have, and then made the center one bigger, because I do want to put a worm bin over here, which I will make a video on later on. Otherwise, that's how this goes. And then it's just simple design with the slats and everything. You also saw in the video I cut these out using a table saw, and then there I can have these slats in here that slide up and down. The main reason why I pretty much redid it is because on the other one I had these things like over here, and then the wood inside there, and then it was just too rotted for me to put any more screws on, so it kept popping out, and then the slats wouldn't stay on here. So hopefully by having it over here, this would do better. But it's basically the same thing on all of them. It took quite a bit to actually cut all these slits in here. It just took a while, but hopefully this should work better. And then to reinforce it, on the other one you saw I had a wood going along here, or a 2x4 just connecting all of them in the center, which was to reinforce it so it didn't separate too much. On this one I'm trying it out with these fence posts that you can see here, which is the only thing that I'm not completely done yet, which I mentioned. I just have to put a wire to attach these 2 together to just keep them a little more stable. Same on each of these, and then hopefully that will prevent them from basically moving back and forth due to the pressure or the weight from the compost itself. Otherwise, that's pretty much that. It did work well last time, so this should work well as well. If I wanted to spend more time and money on it, I could have made it a lot better, basically in terms of the fact that it is on a hill, so it's not completely level. So if I wanted to make it better, I would have put a concrete trim, or what do you call it, around the whole area, and then put the wood on top of it. So I'd make that all level and then do it from there. Or what I could have even done is put a concrete I don't know, boundary around, and then put dirt up and raise the whole thing up, which I could have done. Otherwise, the only thing I really did is just shove some bricks underneath some of the spots to reduce some of the contact with the ground. Well, that sums up this video. It's a pretty effective compost bin in terms of doing its job. Very simple to build. It just takes a little bit of time, mostly in terms of taking apart the pallets and so forth and then putting it back together. I think that's what took the longest. And then the other thing that took the longest was making these posts right here, where the slats go in. That and taking apart the bins took the longest. Otherwise, fairly simple to build, and will do an effective job. If you do have any questions, remember to leave those below and I'll get to those when I can. Otherwise, I appreciate the support and thank you for watching.